Thank you. Is President Trump negotiating a sit-down with Robert Mueller?
Wendy Patrick is here with today's Inside the Law. This is an about-face of sorts, isn't it, with Rudy Giuliani? What he's saying now?
It really is, Chris, and it's been fascinating to follow because what we've seen in the last 8 months is really a chronology of negotiation tactics by both sides. While it's true, the narrative is driven by the president's side because, of course, Mueller is not leaking and he's not speaking. So we don't know what he would say about what's evolved, shall I say, over the last 8 months. But the about face we've seen now is we've gone from there is no way the president's going to sit down for an interview to, well, maybe there's some common ground that we've strategized behind the scenes. We don't know what was in that letter that Giuliani sent to the special counsel yesterday, but perhaps there's something in there that will make it likely that however they decide to do it, there actually could be a sit down.
Given that, is there a safe way for the president to actually sit down and have this talk with Mueller?
I think the short answer, Christina, is no. Because the mere fact of sitting down makes it free-flowing, makes it freewheeling. Here's the very interesting constitutional question that comes out of that. I wish I thought of this, but Professor Dershowitz made a great point. He said in terms of The Godfather, Rudy has made an offer Mueller can't accept. Because by narrowing the terms to where you cannot actually have a sit down and just sort of a free-flowing conversation, what's the point? That's what the special counsel would say. They want to be able to have the president live, in person, and responding without the benefit of consulting with his lawyers first. Now, why does he want to do that if he knows all the answers? The counter-argument to that is he wants to trip up the president to saying something inconsistent, then that would become a separate charge, potentially.
Okay, I need to correct you on one thing. The quote is from Marlon Brando in 1972, The Godfather. I want to make him an offer he can't refuse. Okay, that's the real quote. Getting back to the issue at hand here.
No, but that's the play on words. This is the offer he can't accept.
Specifically, what they won't accept is that he talks about why he fired FBI Director James Comey and anything about the Russia investigation. But those are the two things at the crux of the investigation itself. So why even talk?
Well, Chris, that's just it. That's the question. If Mueller knows the answers to all of these questions. Now, by the way, how does he know the answers? The president has publicly pronounced them on social media for the last 8 months. No collusion, no obstruction. Obviously, Mueller knows that's what the president's going to say.
And these tweets can be part of the record, right?
But well, not only are they part of the record as far as the evidence and the information that Mueller's looked at, remember the week before last, that was specifically what Mueller was looking at, is whether or not these tweets were something that they could look at, because the president himself, as well as his staff, has said, these are official statements, quote unquote.
We heard Giuliani just saying a little earlier, he keeps calling this intended meeting a perjury trap.
Right.
Right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, that terminology is misleading because it sounds like the special counsel is, and I know some people believe this, their only mission is to trap the president. Perjury requires intent. You can't accidentally commit perjury. That's called being mistaken. Being inconsistent, there's a jury instruction that says sometimes people honestly make mistakes and you can't hold that against them. You have to look at the rest of the evidence. But what the special counsel wants to do is they want to have direct evidence of the president's intent. Because something like obstruction of justice becomes a question of intent. You can infer it circumstantially, but wouldn't it be great, as far as Mueller is concerned, to have the president say something that proves that?
So many moving parts, and we could talk about this for 3 straight hours, but we have to move on. But one last question quickly. What about the timing of this? Giuliani's putting a lot of pressure to get this done by the midterms and would like to get it done by the end of this month. September 1's a date he's thrown out there. Do you see that happening or no way?
I don't. I see it potentially, if Mueller issues a subpoena, going all the way to the Supreme Court, and it's not going to be Rudy Giuliani arguing this in front of the 9
Then we'll have even more to talk about. All right, Wendy Patrick, as always, thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right, and still ahead here from